It's the Beast in the East. Tonight on the Con Guy Show, we preview some of the best and the biggest events of New York Comic Con happening next week up in New York City. Also, our special guest tonight is Gene Turnbow, the CEO of Krypton Radio, the world's leading sci-fi and geek culture radio station, available 24/7 on the web. But take a break right now and listen to the show tonight.
Welcome to Popcorn Talk, featuring movie discussion, news, and interviews. Popcorn Talk, we talk movies. And now, here's Popcorn Talk's The Con Guy, Comic-Con Prep Show.
Yes, we are prepping you for another Comic-Con this week. This week it's New York Comic-Con. That is until San Diego sues them and tells them to change their name. So it's going to be New York something. But anyways, one of the largest Comic-Cons in the country is hitting New York City next week, and we are going to preview some of the best events from that. But we are so excited to have in studio with us tonight Gene Turnbow. He is the CEO of Krypton Radio. It's a fandom and geek and sci-fi and awesome radio station that you can hear all over the world 24/7. So we're going to hear all about that. The first thing I want to do, though, before we start, we have a picture I want to show, and I will be very quick with this, I've been told. So if you guys are watching, and if you're not listening, if you're watching, this is a picture of my family. My dad is on the far left. My mom is third from the right. This is us up in the Smoky Mountains. This is my parents' 50th anniversary celebration. I just want to say happy anniversary to my folks. I was so glad to be there with you this weekend. Look at cute little girl right in the middle. Reese, she's such a cutie.
Is your shirt tucked in?
It's probably not. Anyways, and also today's my dad's birthday, so 2 in 1 weekend. That was really great. Anyways, love you guys. Hopefully we will have many more. All right. My name is Jim Frye. I am the managing editor of The Con Guy. You can find me at Con Guy Jim. Find me right here on Twitter, also at theconguy.com. That's theconguy, DOTCOM. You can also follow us on Instagram. Follow us on our YouTube channel. We're all over the place. Who else do we have in the room?
I'm Katie, and I guess at this point, I'm partially like a correspondent, because I always like text you guys stuff about things.
She's our special correspondent.
Slow down a little bit, but yes, I'm just going to call myself a correspondent.
All right. And our special guest tonight,
hi,
Gene.
Hi, I'm really glad to be here. I did not expect to be on TV.
We always forget to mention that this is a video show.
A video show.
Yeah.
He wore his favorite jacket, though.
Yes.
Yeah,
I wore mine.
Yeah.
All right.
Thomas's, actually.
And we're going to move. We're going to be talking with Gene in the first half of the show and finding out all about Krypton Radio. But first, who's over here?
I'm Cheeseman on the couch. Not on the couch, but just Cheeseman, I guess, here tonight.
On the desk.
Cheeseman on the desk right now.
She's on desk.
Yeah. And I'm part of the conguy.com as well, and social media mainly.
Yep, social media and video director and the art director of the program. Also in the booth with us tonight, our engineer Anthony is the engineer extraordinaire, keeping us on time tonight. So let's not get behind.
Of course.
All right.
Yes.
So first up, we have an Adventures with Con Guy. What happened this weekend? Yesterday, Luke was at a Pediatric Brain Tumor Foundation Starry Night 5K run. Real quick, what was it?
Yeah, we went there. We dressed up as cosplay as superheroes to kind of support the children, the families that were there, which was really cool.
And we can go ahead and start the video.
Yeah, we can start the video. Mingled with the kids there, encouraged the people racing, and it was cool. Like the kids, a lot of them would come up to us and be like, "Are you real?" And then we'd kind of, I didn't know, I'd have to like improvise and pretend to be characters. They'd be like, "Where's Tony Stark?" Like, he's off building something, or we're trying to take down Thanos. So yeah, we're seeing some pictures here. There's Spider-Man. Our friend Morgan was doing that.
Hopefully we'll have Morgan on the show.
Shaking hands with the kids. So yeah, like I said, they loved us. There's our friend Alyssa. We talked about her before. Lover of the room. And Tommy Wiseau. There's Spider-Man taking
the shield.
Taking Captain America's shield away. So we got a couple cool
this raises
cosplay
money.
pictures as
you
well.
say it raises
Superman.
money to help children and their families fighting one of the deadliest forms of childhood cancer, which is a great thing. And according to their marketing material, each of the 28,000 steps in this is one of our stars. 28,000 children are living with brain tumors.
Mm-hmm. So some of the actual kids were there. They were in yellow shirts and actually participating.
Oh, yeah, that guy.
Do you?
Becca Platzer, the Luke Skywalker.
Yeah, the Luke Skywalker and Leia were there.
Yeah, they work for me.
Oh, fantastic!
Yeah.
such a small world.
Yeah,
But
sure
yeah,
is.
great group of people. Great, the families were awesome. They had people come up and kind of share their stories as well. So, and they did some kind of like lighting of something towards the end. We were kind of heading out at that time, but they did kind of a special kind of tribute of kind of like the lighting of those things that float in the air, but not floating in the air because it's LA. So they did some kind of like
The paper
lighting of it.
lanterns, you mean?
Yeah, paper lantern kind of thing. We had Wonder Woman there as well, a blonde Wonder Woman.
I think this might be the last
And,
photo.
yeah, Scarlet Witch, and we had Falcon, Tom
I guess
Parham,
not.
who's been on the show. It just keeps going. There's me, Star-Lord, with Spider-Man again.
So this is actually put together by Tom Parham. He is a frequent guest on
Yep.
the show here, and he actually, what's kind of cool, and we won't spend a lot of time on it. He has a whole collection of cosplays that he gathers, right?
Yeah, so he's like a Nick Fury of costumes,
Yes,
basically,
that's-
and gets the Avengers and groups together, visits hospitals, does these kind of events. Free Comic Book Day will stand out in front. We've talked about that on the show, or have heroes there. So, but it's great for the kids, especially the kids love taking pictures. And even the adults like it a lot of times. You'll have some adult come over, oh, can I get a picture with you? But like everybody gets real excited, especially after Infinity War. I noticed this year, like there's just an increase of interest kind of in the Avengers, and like everybody, like the kids like loved it. That's
Yeah,
cool.
I can't believe he choked at the end and let Thanos get away with it.
I know.
Dude,
I know.
seriously.
No. Star-Lord is...
It was the only way.
All right. So we have a little bit of quick news about San Diego Comic-Con. This was kind of surprised you that the volunteer interest list is open right now.
Yeah,
Why
that's
was that surprising? Because it's so early?
because it's September.
Yes.
And Comic-Con isn't till July.
Right. If
And
you...
it's 2018.
Yes.
Still.
Yes.
Well, the thing is, pro registration for next year
Already
has
ended.
already ended.
Yeah.
And returning registration, it is on their website right now, is about to begin. We don't know the exact date, but it'll be beginning very soon. So get ready. We will let you
your
know.
emails.
Check your emails. Follow us on Twitter. Follow us, everybody you know, because it will be open real soon. And as you know, those tickets go fast. Those
and
badges
they don't
go
give you
fast.
much notice, so
They really don't. I think they do it on purpose.
it's usually on a work day.
So if you are interested in being a volunteer, if you have a member ID and you are interested in becoming a first-time volunteer, I guess returning volunteers have a different system they go to. You can sign up on the volunteer interest list. It does not guarantee a badge. It just lets them know that you are interested, and it kind of puts you to the top of their list when they're looking at people to sign up for volunteers. Have you done that before, Katie?
No, I haven't volunteered for it because I've always gone.
You've gone on the professional pass.
Yeah, I
seriously.
just went on my professional badge, so yeah.
that was
I have
getting-
friends who've done it at this and other cons too. though,
And just real quick, to be a volunteer does not mean you're working all weekend, right?
No, I believe they do like time slots, and I don't even think I think you can do like a day or just part of a day. I don't know exactly, but I have some friends who do it like twice, like 2 days or whatnot.
And you get a
So,
badge for that
I believe
day,
it's
right?
a day, like a day badge. Yeah.
Yeah,
Like,
okay. Which is kind of cool. And as we know, those badges are so hard to get to San Diego Comic-Con. Speaking of badges that are hard to get, we were, we're going to talk about New York Comic-Con in a second, but right before we talk about Krypton Radio, if you could do the bulletin board for us.
Yeah, so September 28th through 30th, so that's this weekend, I believe, right? Yeah. It's Baltimore Comic-Con in Baltimore, Maryland. Let's see if I can read my, abbreviations for states here. And then October 4th through 7th, so next weekend, is New York Comic-Con. That's always a big one. That's pretty equal to SDCC in the sense of the East Coast.
Yes.
And then there's usually great lineup to that too. And then the same weekend for the October 6th and 7th, so Saturday and Sunday, is Louisiana Comic Con. And then at the end of the month, October 26th through 28th, at the same time as another one. Oh, that is LA Comic Con. I didn't read LA Comic Con. Sorry, yeah, LA Comic Con here at the downtown LA Convention Center.
And we will be doing a special show to preview the Los Angeles Comic Con. We will have some guests in here. It's towards the end of the month. It's also right around the time where the Scare Guy will be talking about the new Halloween film coming out. So there's
So it's always a good mashup between Halloween and Comic-Con because
Yes.
it's Halloween weekend.
It is. It's Halloween weekend. And actually, Fangoria is sponsoring a whole creepy wing of the Comic Con down in LA Comic Con this year. So it's going to be pretty cool.
Yes, I did a Star-Lord Michael Myers last year. Did a little mashup of a Comic-Con
Yeah.
look with a little Halloween.
Oh, that's right. I forgot about that. It was that's kind of cool.
Yep. And that's used to be known as Kamikaze for people who haven't caught that it got its name changed. So it's Stan Lee's.
What happened?
Convention.
Why did they?
Is it still Stanley?
Do you know,
LA?
Gene?
No, I think Stanley's name is off of it now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, it used to be Stanley's
was-
It
Kamikaze.
used to be Kamikaze.
Stanley's
Then it was Stanley's
LA
Comic
Comic-Con,
Con.
yeah.
Now
it's
then
Excelsior.
Stanley's LA Comic Con, and now it's just LA Comic Con.
Yeah.
I think
Maybe-
it's gone through 4 name changes.
Maybe he just really wants to retire. I don't know.
I don't know. It's got to have something to do with licensing and contracts and whatever.
Yeah.
And hopefully it doesn't have anything to do with all that legal mess that Stan was going through last year with the guardianship and being held hostage.
One can only assume. I mean, all we have, we've got differing information coming out of Stan Lee and his legal representation and the police.
Yep.
And other legal representation and the it's a mess.
I know that the guy that was the collector has been ordered to stay away from Stan.
Right. There's a restraining order against him.
Which most of us are very, very happy about.
I had no idea about this.
Yes. The restraining order against the guy that was his guardianship, and we'll do this real quickly, was the guy that was everyone felt was kind of keeping him walled off from society.
Gotcha.
And kind of like siphoning his money as well.
So it'll be Love and Mercy Part 2 someday with Stan Lee.
That's exactly what
like
it
the Brian
was.
Wilson thing that happened with him with Eugene.
If you've seen the movie Love and Mercy, that's exactly what it is.
Yeah.
Okay.
All right. We are going to jump into Krypton Radio right now. Gene Turnbow, so happy to have you on the show with us tonight.
I'm really happy to be here.
And we've been trying to get you for a little bit of
inside.
time as well. I have known Gene for a couple of years now. We met at what's the
Full-time
WonderCon.
Wondercon.
We met at WonderCon.
And the name of the panel? It's always
was,
a mouthful.
Full-time creativity on a part-time schedule, which is kind of a misnomer.
Yep.
You know, you can't actually do that.
No.
But you know, people want to try anyway.
Yeah, and it's a great panel, full-time creative career and a part-time schedule. How can you do a full-time career and a part-time schedule? It's impossible, like you said, but there is a way to do it. And anyways, I've always been so interested in you and your story, especially because you are the CEO of Krypton Radio, and we have so many things to talk about. Can you first just kind of give us a rundown? What is Krypton Radio?
Krypton Radio is the world's, as far as I know, and I could be mistaken, you know, because somebody could start one up, you know, tomorrow.
As we're talking.
But so far as I know, we are the world's only full-time sci-fi geek culture radio station. The only one in the world that does that format 24 hours a day. There are other geek radio stations, but they'll play geek stuff maybe 40% of the time, and the rest of the time it's hip-hop or heavy metal or something like that. That has nothing to do with the genre.
Yeah.
We're the only full genre, full format genre station in the world.
And we're going to talk about a couple of the shows, but what do you mean by genre radio? What can folks expect when they come?
Let's see, the music that we play a lot of music, but we play music from
I listen to it at my desk at work.
The movies, TV shows, popular games, and adventure serials. We have talk shows that are on topic. We have one called Docking Bay 94, which is a live show on Thursday nights. We've got the Adventures of Superman, all 1,152.
And that's a radio serial that first aired when?
That's a radio serial that first aired starting in 1943.
Nice.
And running until 1956. And not all of the episodes were recorded, but the ones that were, they used to call it a transcription radio series. And they called it that because they used something like a dictaphone. They would record the show, they would do the show live, and they would record the show on these dictaphones, duplicate them, and then bicycle them around to all the affiliate stations by courier. And that's why they all sounded scratchy and crappy, is because of that reproduction process. And the fact that they did that is the only reason we have 1,152 episodes. There are another 400 or so that have been just lost to time.
Oh, wow.
But we've got all the ones that survived, and we're playing them in original broadcast order, one per day. And the cycle takes 3.5 years to get all the way through.
Wow.
That's pretty cool.
That's cool.
So let's talk a little bit about some of the shows you have. You have a lot of music shows, and you have like DJs who are like, they're curating the different things.
We've got our Monday through Friday morning show is Good Morning Tatooine with Obi-Sean Crosby. He's a cosplayer and He does 160 charities a year, dressed as Obi-Wan Kenobi. He drives that Star Wars car that you've probably seen at the
We've
convention.
seen that. I
It's
think
the
I've
same
met him.
guy. He works for me.
Yes. Nice.
Are we sure it's like there's only one of them, or is it's like most likely?
Oh no,
is?
there's
Okay.
only one.
Okay.
There's only one guy.
Well, I've seen that
If
car.
you've seen that car,
Yes.
that's him.
It's always in like a normal parking lot, and you're just like, oh, like,
Yeah, it's like, what's that
Okay,
doing here?
yeah. It's
up at Target, yeah.
That's the guy. Yeah. So, and we have Willow Leafstorm, who does between 3 and 4 shows. She's got a great one on Saturdays, which is Strange Transmissions.
Yeah, what is that?
It's like if you liked the Dr. Demento show,
Yeah.
it's just about exactly like that. She does all the weird, crazy, wild, odd stuff, and she kind of likes to push the boundaries. I tell her what she's allowed to broadcast, because we've got to be family oriented,
Right.
And she crosses that line every time. I swear to God.
Strange transmissions. Like, what's an example of a topic that?
Oh well.
No, she's music.
Yeah, she plays music.
Okay, she's a DJ.
Right. And then we have Mr. Vestek of Mr. Vestek's Outpost. And he broadcasts out of Dublin, Ireland.
Yeah.
wow.
And we've got Gary DeBaum, and he has a morning show and an evening show on Mondays and an evening show on Fridays. And let's see.
You have steam-powered cabaret. What's
Steam-powered cabaret. That's steampunk music.
That's pretty cool.
Yeah, she's got a great imagination, and she themes each show, and she works really hard at producing all of them. And she produces it. Right now, she's doing 3 shows a week. During some parts of the year, she does 4 shows a week. She's thinking of bringing back Planet Tokyo, which was our J-pop and K-pop show.
Oh, that would be cool.
We love, the shirt for that is a good seller.
Yeah?
Yeah, it's I'm really fond of it.
So do you guys? We do have. Let's talk about some of these other the talk shows you guys have. For example, you mentioned the Docking Bay '94 with Obi-Wan.
Right.
What is that about?
That's basically Star Wars news for the most part, and what's going on around town in Hollywood, and a lot of talk about Disneyland. And Colleen Crosby is a costumer, and she is just gifted at that. And sometimes they talk about that, and sometimes they talk about the charity work that they do, and it's just a lot of fun.
Nice.
And
What about the show that you have a show on there?
yeah, I have one called The Event Horizon,
Yes.
which is if you are listening or watching this show in Los Angeles, you may be aware of KPFK. And in the mid-1970s, there was a show called Hour 25. And we tried to get the rights to run Hour 25. And we tracked down the guy who had the rights. And unfortunately, for whatever reason, we couldn't get him to respond to email or phone calls or inquiries passed along through friends. And finally, we just decided to do it ourselves. And that became our first regular flagship radio.
Sometimes the
program.
best way. Just do
Yeah,
it yourself.
sometimes- Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you can't get it, somebody else to do it yourself. So we did. And we've had guests on like John Scalzi and Bruce Boxleitner and David Gerald. And
Seriously?
oh yeah, yeah. We had who's the guy that did the voice of Hey Hey the Chicken?
Oh, Alan Tudyk.
Alan Tudyk. Thank
Oh,
you.
wow. I
Well,
love
the voice. I can't believe that they hired him to do a chicken clucking.
He's so great. I
It's
love
like-
Alan Tudyk.
I've done some interviews with him too. He's fantastic.
It's like there's this video of him doing. I went to Juilliard.
He is now Disney's
I'm sure
good
they're
luck
so
charm.
proud.
He did 3 station drops for us.
Yeah?
It was his idea to do them. And,
When you say a
and
station drop, you mean?
a station drop is where you do a station identification. Hi, I'm whoever it is.
Yep.
You're listening to Krypton Radio, sci-fi for your Wi-Fi.
Yeah.
And we've got probably 4 or 5 dozen famous people doing those. We have Nichelle Nichols doing that.
Oh, fantastic.
Yeah.
Uhura from Star Trek.
Yeah,
Yep.
we've got Oh, I'm drawing blanks. That's
all right.
Now, how does somebody go about like getting shows kind of like on the air with you? Like, it sounds like there's a good variety. Like, do they approach you? Do you seek out people?
Yeah, sometimes they come to me. Sometimes I go to them. Very frequently, like we've got one coming up. I'm trying to remember his name. Christopher Baum, I think. We are doing. He did his own version of the famous Halloween show, the H.G. Wells.
Oh, you're talking about the War of the Worlds.
War
War of the Worlds.
yeah.
Yes, he did his own interpretation of that. And this Halloween, we are running the original War of the Worlds.
Are you really?
And,
Oh, wow.
and his back to back.
Oh, that's fantastic.
And he approached us with that idea. And Docking Bay 94 also came to us. They had been working with another radio station, which had essentially hung them out to dry in terms of taking care of them and resources and all of that. And we took them in and gave them everything they needed to succeed. And now they're one of our most popular shows.
Fantastic. Katie, do you see any shows that interest you?
Well, I saw that there's a lot of stuff here that's has an emphasis on like sci-fi and fantasy type stuff. And so it says like there's the Two Gay Geeks, TV Campfire, Planetary Radio. Like they all seem to have a little bit of variety. So what can you tell us about some of those ones? Like,
Oh, Two Gay Geeks, those guys are fantastic. Keith Lane and oh boy, I'm in trouble. I don't remember the other guy's last name. But they have been doing the convention circuit on the West Coast for I think since for years. Oh God, I'm fluffing this. They are going to skewer me when I get off the air.
We'll just edit them in.
Yeah,
There'll be like random
they're-
voices
they're,
filling in the names.
they talk about anything, and they are very, very knowledgeable, and they get some of the greatest guests, and they have very high production values, and I invited them to be on.
Yeah.
So that's one of the ones where it went the other way.
okay, cool.
What about the TV Campfire? What is that?
TV Campfire. Libya El Amin is the woman that runs that, and she edits TV shows. I mean, she professionally, that's what she does. And she is an expert as well on story and script writing, and she has collected a bunch of other professional writers and story analysis people, and they do a breakdown of the TV shows that have just been on in the last week.
Oh, wow.
And like she's a professional herself, and one of the other people teaches screenwriting at one of the local universities. And it's one of the most literate shows about television on radio or that you can hear or see on radio or television anywhere. I mean, this is as highbrow, frankly, as it gets. And I thought, they're on at 9 o'clock at night. How good are they going to do? One of my top-rated shows.
Wow.
Despite the hour.
It's almost like NPR.
Yeah.
NPR.
Yeah,
sci-fi.
very much so. Yeah. People go out of their way to tune in.
Yeah.
And it sounds like the other show. You have another show that Katie mentioned, Planetary Radio.
Planetary Radio.
That sounds like it's a little bit more on your educational side.
Yeah, it is. We asked that's the one that we asked if we could syndicate, and I think we're the only internet-only radio station that syndicates them. Now all the others are broadcast terrestrial radio.
Wow.
So
And that's like scientists and engineers and astronauts.
yes, that's the Planetary Society.
Oh, it is.
Nice.
Yes,
That's
with
cool.
Neil deGrasse Tyson and Bill Nye.
Yeah,
Yeah,
that's
those
right.
guys.
Wow, nice.
That's,
Emily Lakthawala. I hear her name every week. That's how I can pronounce it.
Now, the name definitely came from Superman, right? The Krypton motivated that? Like, what was the beginnings of all this?
It did. We were in an RPG. A bunch of my friends and I were in an RPG in 2009, and we wanted something to listen to while we were playing online, and we could not find an internet radio station to listen to.
Role-playing game.
Yes, role-playing game. Thank you.
Were you trying to figure out what that meant, Luke?
I saw the blank look in Luke's face.
So we made it ourselves. We couldn't find one, so we made one. And then by 2011, we looked around and we realized, holy cow, nobody else is doing what we're doing. Let's try to make this into a business. And 2011, we went in January from like 100 followers on Facebook to 1,000 in about a month. And then at this point, we've got almost 8,000 followers on Facebook and another 2,500 on Twitter, 5,000 on TuneIn, and we've got listeners from all over the planet.
Nice.
Awesome.
And people tune in, and they stay tuned in. I've never seen anything like it.
True followers.
Yeah, I mean they will tune in and they will leave it there, and we will look at our connection roster, and it's like Germany, 2 weeks, 5 days, just nonstop.
Wow.
You know, and England and Vermont and Japan and Austria, and it's like they're in some sort of a competition to see who can stay on and listen the longest. I've never seen anything like this kind of brand loyalty for an internet radio station.
That's fantastic.
Cool.
Katie, you had another show.
Yeah, I just because the name, and I know Ben would want to ask about it if he isn't already familiar with it, because he's familiar with a lot of stuff.
Although Ben was supposed to be here tonight, he is having some unknown troubles arriving.
Gallifrey stands.
Gallifrey
I'm assuming
stands.
it's Doctor Who related.
It is Doctor
Okay.
Who. It is Doctor Who related. It's run by a guy whose handle is Dr. Squee. And that's produced in England.
Okay.
And
how appropriate.
And he approached us, and it's Gallifrey stands right now, as far as I know, as far as I can tell from looking at the social media metrics and all of that, is the most popular Doctor Who podcast on the planet.
Fantastic. I want to go ahead and get some stuff in here because I don't want to run out of time with you.
Sure.
Also, radio serials, you've had The Shadow, Adventures of Superman, Captain Midnight, X-1, and the Omega Contingent.
Yes.
What is the Omega Contingent?
Yes. There is a convention on the East Coast called Aethertopia, and it is run by a guy named Anthony Sakovich, and he created the Adventure Theater, and that's the production company that produced. Oh God,
No,
it's too late at night. I'm sorry.
No, this is usually me. I usually forget everything.
My brain is going sideways.
No worries.
Anyway, yeah, the Omega Contingent is a fantastic steampunk adventure series.
Yeah.
And it's like listening to this radio show, I got the same feeling listening to it for the first time through. I got the same feeling that I got when I was watching Star Wars for the first time.
Wow.
Yeah, it's like, oh my God, I have to hear more of this. And it's just moment by moment, it's that good.
And
It's like Stranger Things. It feels nostalgic watching it.
So if you don't, by the way, Krypton Radio, just Google it. What is the address of?
It's KryptonRadio.com. You can get it. You can get it on your smartphone. You know, any smart device you have, you can play it on your Alexa device. You can say your keyword, whatever it is, and I won't say it because I'll trigger your device. Play Krypton Radio, and it will. And the same goes for the Google Home speaker.
Yep.
And we're also on TuneIn, and we're on iTunes. Pretty much any streaming service you pick, we're on it.
And even though you're a streaming service, and that's the bulk of what your company is about, you also have a full website with columns and reviews and a whole lot of writers involved with that as well.
Yeah, we actually do, and we started that because we wanted to attract listeners, and we figured we write decent articles. They'll come to read the articles, and they'll get the radio station, and they'll stay for the radio, and that's worked.
Nice.
And we cannot end this conversation without asking about Mighty Aphrodite.
Ah, yes.
What is that?
Well, Krypton Radio is actually owned by Krypton Media Group, which is a transmedia company. And Mighty Aphrodite is our first self-generated intellectual property. It's a fully animated web series, 5-minute episodes each, about the goddess of love herself, who comes back to the world of humans after a 2,000-year slumber and thinks she's got everything under control, and she so doesn't.
Interesting.
The first episode is done and in the can. MightyAphroditeWebSeries.com is the website. When we ran our Kickstarter for it, it funded in 1 day.
Fantastic.
Wow, nice.
That's awesome. So they can find that at MightyAphroditesWebSeries.com.
MightyAphroditeWebSeries.com.
All right. And more how many episodes do you think you'll
Well, right now we've got 1 episode up in the episodes page.
Okay.
Episode 2 is currently in production, and we should have that done, I think, the middle of October. It's taking a little longer than we planned because we have to do a little more animation than we thought.
Animation, it always takes a
Animation
while.
takes a while.
Yeah, we found a loophole. It's made using a machinima platform, but there are certain things that platform can't do, so we hand animate the missing scenes.
Wow.
Gotcha.
And that's how we're getting around the limitations of the platform. So we can do a fully animated 5-minute episode for a cost of about $500 a piece.
All right.
Wow.
If you have not yet checked out Krypton Radio, make sure you do so quickly. KryptonRadio.com. I listen to it at work. It's got great music. It's got some shows on there that you guys are going to love. You might hear some con guy on there pretty soon. We'll be talking about that later.
Okay, you're on.
All right.
It's a deal.
All right, it's a deal.
It's a
I see
deal.
us shaking on it. All right, Gene, one more question.
Yeah.
Have you ever been to New York Comic Con?
I have never been, and I would love to go.
All right. We are going to talk right now about New York Comic Con because it is the biggest cultural convention happening in the world right now at this moment. I'm not saying it's bigger than San Diego Comic Con. I'm just saying at this moment, which is late September, early October. Let me give you the vital statistics about it real quick. It happens next week, October 4th through the 7th. The show floor is open from 10 to 7 each day, except Sunday, but it closes at 5. Artist Alley, this is interesting. Artist Alley remains open an hour later through Saturday evening.
That's fun.
I love that.
that's nice.
They're
I like
really
that.
promoting the artists there.
Yeah.
That's pretty cool. As for the panels, they start at 10:30 each day and run until about 10:30 p.m., except for Sunday.
Holy crap.
I know, that's pretty great, isn't it?
Comic-Con had late stuff
San
this year, too.
Diego's
Yeah.
starting to go a lot later as well. The Javits Center, that's where it's at 655 West 34th Street. Do not bring selfie sticks. Thank goodness. I'm not against...
Yay.
No, I'm in certain circumstances, I am totally against selfie sticks.
I know. Don't bring drones. Cosplay weapons that aren't very clearly fake. They must be very clearly fake.
I'm assuming you can go to the website for more information on that. Usually
Yes.
they do have a cosplay weapons policy.
Yep.
I definitely recommend reading that in detail if you are a cosplayer because I got
you
in
got
trouble about
stopped,
with
yeah.
that San Diego Comic-Con.
So if you're
yeah.
cosplaying Han Solo, don't take a Walther P-38 with stickies on it. You will not get in with it.
And...
Just dress as Star-Lord.
if you are going, this is very important. For those of you who are going, you must activate your badge before you attend. Go to their website, go to the fan verification hub. Otherwise, when you get there, it is tag in, tag out, just like most of the conventions are, the RFID badges. And it will not work if you don't activate it online. Also, for those of you who are not going, which is a whole bunch of us, you can watch most of the stages all weekend on sci-fi.com. They'll have 4 different cameras set up looking at all the major panels that are going to be happening. And there's a lot of panels. Katie, can you start telling us some of the panels that let's start right at the top. This is sci-fi. New York Comic Con was the first of the major conventions to get Marvel Netflix series there because they didn't want to come to San Diego for some reason.
Yeah.
Some people have suggested
It's changed since then.
It has changed since then, but it looks like they are getting some big stuff from Marvel Television this year. What are we getting, Katie?
The Runaways? That's the Netflix one, right?
No, Runaways is on... No, Hulu.
Hulu. Well, I knew it was on one of those
Yes.
platforms. Okay. The Gifted.
Which I think is
Fox,
yes.
Which is the X-Men show, right?
Correct.
Yeah. I haven't watched that one yet. Daredevil.
Yep.
Which I'm assuming Daredevil we haven't heard much about lately, so I'm hoping maybe they'll say something there.
They are having the premiere of season 3
Nice.
in Madison Square Garden at the event.
Whoa!
Recently, we got the announcement of the release date for Daredevil, which I believe is October 19th.
I think you're correct.
Nice.
Yes.
So they're having a premiere?
Yeah, the premiere. We're going to see that
at Madison Square Garden?
Yeah.
Oh,
The,
man,
the same
that's
place,
awesome.
the Walking Dead premiere will also be at Madison Square Garden.
Madison Square Garden is massive.
I know, this is a big convention.
That's...
Yep.
Is it too late to fly to
Every
New York?
musician's dream to play there.
No, they only,
Yeah.
from the last I saw, they have some Thursday badges available. I can't guarantee that that's still the case.
I'll just ghost it. No, it's fine.
No,
I can't afford to go to New York.
One of these days I do want to get up to this. So sometimes Ethan, who was on our show before, he's been there before. We were going to try to get him on tonight, but
Yeah.
We'll make it one of these days.
one of these days when October's
but-
so
We'll
busy.
stay with Richard Chu. I hope you're
It was a
watching.
good segue because you were talking about The Walking Dead. They
Yep.
are having a panel at New York Comic Con as well. I'm guessing last Andrew Lincoln panel.
The
probably.
final Andrew Lincoln panel.
It's just weird that they're announcing that. You know, like you'd think they'd kind of leave it as some sort of shocker.
A big surprise?
Yeah.
Well, I mean, they've announced he's leaving
Are
the
they
show.
they're doing it for ratings probably, right?
But
They've
To
also,
kinda-
but they already announced he's leaving the show. So
Well, no, that's what he's saying. Why would they announce
yeah,
that?
they
Oh,
should
yeah.
just surprise us
Because-
with it.
yeah,
No.
It's what they do.
They-
It's what they
it's
do.
how you get the
not when
ratings
it's
up.
not when it's a mid-season, like when it's something big like that. They can't.
Maybe it's because he's an unkillable and they want to like prepare you.
Yes.
Like you need a full year of mourning before this happens, or he'll walk away and then make appearances every.
But I
once in a
heard
while.
that, that once he decided to leave the show, they basically begged Daryl. What's Daryl, the actor? Norman Reedus.
Norman Reedus.
Even like throwing like $20 million his way to do not leave. So there's one actor we know.
There's
who
a
will
Christmas
not be
ornament of him this year too.
Also-
just so you know.
Is it really?
Hallmark.
It's being moderated by Chris Hardwick, who did not do the comic.
This
one,
is big
so-
news. This is Chris Hardwick's return to the convention scene. And again, we have talked. We're not taking the opinion of the issues of that controversy. All
Yeah.
we know is that this is big. He has been back on Talking Dead. Mm-hmm.
He's also The Wall is back as well. He's the
on
moderator. He's the host of that.
on NBC.
Yeah.
Yep.
But
so he is
and
back.
he did not do the panel at San Diego Comic Con because of everything that was going on.
Right.
But he's doing the one at New York Comic Con. So,
Okay.
In the normal style of Walking Dead. He's been the moderator for years now for those panels.
Oh my gosh.
Normal style for Walking Dead. Does he drag his foot as he walks on stage, or what does that mean?
No, isn't Talking Dead like one of the first of the after shows that was starting? Even
Yeah,
though
Talking Dead came before they did the Breaking Bad one for like the last season,
Mm-hmm.
but Walking Dead was already out at that point. So I know they did it for the Talking Bad. I think had a few seasons.
but I do need to throw this out there.
But AfterBuzz was doing it way before.
Yes, that's what we're gonna say.
Thank
After
you,
Buzz
Luke.
Yeah.
had the
You're my
first.
favorite, Luke.
Yeah.
Have I ever said that?
I was about to say the same thing.
Yeah.
I beat him.
Thank
Beat
you.
me to it. So, anyways, if you have not, by the way, let's just throw that out there. AfterBuzz TV here has more after shows than anybody else. So, if you have a show you love, chances are AfterBuzz TV has an after show for it.
Yeah, even with special guests too, they do bring in people that were on the shows or part of it, writers, all
Yep.
sorts of things.
So make sure you check out AfterBuzz TV. Right, so Luke. Do you see anything that is interesting you? I see.
Well,
there's one that
Yeah,
I.
The
that's-
Walking Dead would definitely be cool. I wonder if it's as impossible to get in as it is probably at
If it's at
San
MSG,
Diego.
I would hope not.
Madison
I
Square
mean,
Garden
MSG
is
is huge.
Yeah.
gigantic. Yeah.
The Spider-Man into the Spider-Verse, that looks really good. You know, like we watched part of that before. That we saw some of that at San Diego Comic-Con.
Where are they screening it?
There's
I
well,
was gonna
I
say, yeah, that's what I was gonna
Or
ask.
we'll bring their Spidey sense.
I'm not sure they're going to be screening it because it still doesn't come out till December. But I know that the voice cast will be there. I think Lord Miller will be there.
I'm sure they'll show like an awesome, because they even showed some clips and stuff at Comic-Con at San Diego, so they'll probably definitely show some exclusive footage
One thing that's interesting is
or a final trailer if there is one.
maybe they're probably going to be debuting the final trailer. Sci-Fi Channel is bringing a lot of shows. One show that's getting a lot of buzz is Night Flyers. It's the show it's a futuristic drama based on the novella by Game of Thrones writer George R.R. Martin. So this is kind of like sci-fi's next big thing. As we all know, they've been trying to move back into science fiction. You know, they're not the station for wrestling anymore.
That I could never figure that one out. You know, and you go to Salt Lake Comic Con, or if you were at Salt Lake Comic, I was there in 2014.
It's not called that anymore.
that's not right.
The Salt Lake
they're
Comic
not allowed to
it's
say
the
Comic-Con,
Fan experience or
FanX Salt Lake Comic Convention.
Oh yes, it's a name change circus. And they're right in the middle of the exhibit hall, they had a wrestling ring.
Yeah,
I don't even mean a wrestling ring. I mean a wrestling ring. And it was like every 30 seconds, it was boom, 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 and somebody yelling incomprehensibly over a megaphone, and nobody within 200 feet could sell a thing because nobody could hear anybody talk. It was the weirdest thing.
I've never understood it, but there is this strange connection between wrestling and Comic-Con conventions. It's been getting bigger and bigger as well.
At Comic-Con, they always have a WWE booth.
Yep.
They had some, I don't know if it was a wrestling-themed thing or a wrestling thing. I barely saw it, but at Long Beach Comic-Con, there was definitely something wrestling-related because I saw it all over Instagram.
Yep.
But I only saw it in passing because I was only on the floor for a couple hours. And, like, wrestling's not really my thing, so, like, I don't really pay attention to it, but I know there was something there.
But it's, it's fantasy characters and over-the-top personalities.
Yeah.
And just, it's straight-up fantasy. So there's your connection.
And Brad, who is always the hidden, invisible member of our panel, has gotten in touch with us.
He's a ghost.
And I'm hoping this is true
He hides in the
information.
corner.
Brad said that the new Daredevil trailer hit today.
It did.
It did. So I have not seen that yet, but that's pretty amazing. So the trailer comes out ahead of the premiere next week.
Yeah, he also said talk about the Birds of Prey film announcement on the heels of Supergirl film announcement. 2012 Year of Girl Power.
2020.
2020.
Yeah,
2020.
I was like,
Yeah.
2012
Oh,
was
yeah.
like
2012, back in time.
Anthony actually showing us that the trailer did.
For Daredevil?
For Daredevil, the Daredevil trailer.
His
Ooh, his nose is
nose is
bleeding.
bleeding.
We don't.
Yeah.
We will make sure we link to that. What else, Katie?
Well, CW is all making a big presence just like they do at San Diego Comic-Con.
Right.
But I'm wearing my Riverdale shirt. You guys can't see it, but I have Jughead Jones on my shirt. So I saw that Riverdale is also showing up to New York Comic-Con, and they're going to have a sneak peek of season 3, which I'm really excited about because if you guys haven't watched it, it's not. Hopefully, it will not disappoint you. It's one of those overly dramatic teenage dramas, but it's not. It's actually like watchable, if that's a good way to put it. Yeah,
because I'm looking at this and thinking, this is Archie Comics?
Well, it's based off the characters. It is not based off of the actual comics. They just took the characters and made
They
a world
basically just jacked up the radiator cap and replaced everything
so
underneath.
like if you watch it as like the characters, but you don't watch it as someone who was a fan of the comics, I think you'll enjoy it. But it has the same kind of feel as like a Pretty Little Liars thing, but it has a huge following. It's on the 3rd season, and it already has a huge
It's their
following.
biggest. Go ahead, Anthony.
Well, also it's like it's on the CW.
Yeah.
It's a completely different crowd. Like it's not meant for a certain
But-
crowd. Yeah.
Yes.
But
It's not meant for
actually-
3 of us at this table.
I must not be the target audience.
But honestly, I have a lot of people who like have said like I gave it a chance, and who would not normally give it a chance, and were like it wasn't bad.
Do you
Like,
enjoy it?
I very much enjoy it. It's one of those shows. I don't want to call it a guilty pleasure, but it's definitely a guilty
I've
pleasure.
seen one episode. And I think I saw the same episode you saw. Do you remember which one it was? Where'd
Riverdale?
where'd we see it?
What,
At
WonderCon.
WonderCon?
At WonderCon.
Yeah.
I so did not enjoy that episode.
Honestly, that episode was the worst episode of season 1. I can say that after watching the whole thing.
Yeah.
I was not interested in it after watching it at WonderCon. It is much better when you watch
I
it
have
on
heard
TV.
it's really,
Okay.
and I think it's the biggest show on the CW right now.
It's skyrocketed. It's insane. But
I think we thought we were in there for something else, and it's like, what is this? And then all of a sudden, like, no.
No,
but if it's like the other WB panels, they won't tell you anything.
So here's something. Amazon is bringing a new supernatural show called Good Omens. Let me read the description and see if this sounds familiar. Starring Michael Sheen and David Tennant, and it's a superhero. Oh, it's a superhero tale, The Boys. With no. The Good Omens. I have the Good Omens on here. Basically, I think they are angels sent to Earth to help avoid the apocalypse.
I mean,
What does that
that's
sound
what
like to you?
Good Omens sounds like something like that would be what it is like, but it sounds like their version of
Oh, here we go.
Supernatural.
Yes, a dark comedic story set in modern-day Britain that centers on the stoic and sensible angel Azaphael, played by Sheen, and the suave man-about-town demon Crowley, played by Tennant, as they join forces to prevent the coming of the apocalypse. Does that sound like supernatural to you?
Yeah, even the name, like
Yes.
Wow. Yeah, no, I'm already. I mean, I love David Tennant, but like you're on thin ice right there. I just have to say that. Okay, I'm.
Oh, wait. Speaking of David Tennant, TARDIS time.
Yeah.
Matt Smith, David
Yeah.
Tennant, and Alex Kingston for 2 hours at TARDIS time. That's going to be a great panel.
I wish I'd known about this panel like 4 months ago. Like I would have booked a ticket.
Booked your ticket just for
because
that one.
I was at Matt Smith's last panel at Comic-Con.
Yeah.
And Whovians are just the vibe and the energy that Whovians have is just like you can't help but like smile and have a good time. And like I don't know if David Tennant and Matt Smith have ever. I mean, I could be wrong, but I don't know if they've been at a panel together.
I'm not sure either.
I don't think they have.
I don't think they have. So that's huge because like
kind of
those
almost
are my
just-
favorite doctors. So I would love to see that.
Wouldn't that be great?
Yeah. Oh, would love to see
2
that.
hours. Cheeseman, you in the car on the way over, what was the panel?
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai.
Cobra Kai will be there. What does it say? What day? No, we don't have on here what day, but yeah, I'm sure a good group of the cast will be there.
The cast and creators are going to be there for Cobra
so
Kai.
that I would definitely be very.
So that
interested
speaks
in.
well for a season 2, I think.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's happening.
Have they announced season 2?
They did a little
Is that the
teaser
one
at
on
the end.
YouTube?
Yeah, the one on
Okay.
YouTube.
Yeah, I haven't seen that yet.
It's definitely happening.
You know, the return back to the world of the Karate Kid, which is great.
And then Star Trek.
Yeah, Star Trek
Discovery second season.
Yes, I think they got their start at New York Comic Con last year.
I think they did, and this year I'm really looking forward to seeing what they come up with, because from what I've seen from the trailers and from the promotional material, it's not going to suck.
Well,
The first episode, they jumped so many sharks.
Yeah.
I wrote an article on Krypton Radio, I think back in September, and just like every single episode, there was one jaw-dropping, neck-snapping. What did they just do? Wait a minute. What?
Yeah.
You know, it just plot hole, and then they ended it on a fizzle. And then the new season, for some reason, they managed to purge themselves of all of that, and they're finally on the right track.
But they have a surprise guest this year. Cheeseman, or do you guys know who it is?
I don't know who it is. Do you know who is it?
Patrick Stewart.
Patrick Stewart.
What?
Oh yes,
Yes, Captain Picard.
yes, because he's
Jean-Luc
got
Picard.
his own new series.
What's his new series?
I don't know yet, but they're creating a new series around the character of Jean-Luc Picard.
Are you serious?
Professor
Yeah, oh
Picard.
yes.
That's fantastic.
Oh yes, it's set something like 30 or 40 years after
wow.
he resigns the captaincy of the Enterprise.
Oh, that's cool.
Wow.
I didn't know that.
But it's him. None of the other characters from Star Trek: The Next Generation have been invited to join them, but he is in
Data,
it.
I'm sure will.
No,
He's probably
no.
Because robots don't grow old, and sadly he has.
But
Yeah, and
there's
sadly
all
he
that
has.
special effects.
But-
as
well,
long
you
as he hasn't let himself go.
But that
it
panel-
would be a tough, expensive go.
that is going to be. They also the Spock, Ethan Peck, is going to be there as well for that panel. I didn't know they had Spock on Discovery. I haven't been watching that one.
Did you know that Ethan Peck is I think he's the grandson of Gregory Peck?
Is he really?
Oh yes, they're related.
So, here's some additional TV shows we can look for. Man in the High Castle, Stand Against Evil, Super Mansion, Supernatural panel with Mark Shepard, Boy Meets World 25th anniversary panel.
I just want to know who's there.
25 years?
Because like,
Really? Wow.
if Matthew Lawrence is there, I'm gonna be really sad I missed it.
You're missing
So-
a good one, huh? There's a special Ronald Moore panel, which means Battlestar Galactica. He's also Ronald Moore is Outlander. No, what's the time travel show? Is it Outlander? It might be.
Highlander?
Highlander.
Yeah.
Highlander.
There's going to be Hulu and Seth Rogen's Future Man.
Haven't seen that yet.
The Orville, Star Trek Discovery, of course. This one I'm excited about. History Channel's Project Blue Book. Also, Marvel Rising. Travel Channel is having Paranormal Power Hour. It's the 10th anniversary of the Ghost Adventures. So much. Guys, there's so much. The Umbrella Academy from Netflix. The Haunting of Hill House. The Chilling Adventures of Sabrina. Dark Crystal Age of Resistance, a new series. That makes me excited to hear about that. I've got pages and pages of. We're going to put this on our website. Katie, you're about to say something.
No, I have no idea what I was going to say.
Anyways,
At this
all
point,
that
my
lined
brain's
up and
just it's
Charmed
just
for
mush.
Brad.
It's just
Brad,
mush.
Charmed is back. They're having a special
Yeah.
screening.
Anniversary.
Is it
Yeah.
the anniversary? No, it's the new series.
It's the premiere. Like it's a thing because of the new.
Plus the
thing.
new
It's the
Roswell.
20th anniversary.
New Roswell's going to be there. Guys, we do have to wrap up this week. My name is Jim Frye. I am the managing editor here at theconguy.com. Also, the Con Guy Comic-Con Prep Show. You can follow us at theconguy.com on Twitter, The Con Guy on Instagram, everywhere you can find it. Just search for us. We've had a great time tonight. New York Comic Con next week. If you are going to it, please tweet us, text us, let us know what it's like. If you are not there, remember you can see it on sci-fi.com. Where can we find you guys?
You can find me on Twitter at KT_Christine. I retweet a lot of stuff about lots of stuff. So
She'll keep you up to speed.
Yeah.
Yes.
Haven't been as good at it lately, and then you can follow me on Instagram at Katie's Fairy Tale, and that's where I post all my cosplay stuff and everything kind of more pop culture related. So.
All right. Oh, Gene.
nah.
So sorry.
Yeah, and I'm Gene Turnbow. You can reach me at Krypton Radio at kryptonradio.com or at Krypton Radio. We also have a Patreon campaign at patreon.com/Krypton Radio. And we are basically all over the social media and the net, and you can hear us on practically everything.
They're easy to find.
Yeah, you can find me on theconguy.com and on Twitter at CheeseOnCouch, because I'm normally on the couch.
All right. Guys, thank you so much for being with us tonight. I think we got some closing music to get into. But anyways, special programming note, next week, Carrie Lane is back. She's going to be hosting a special show reviewing Queen Mary's Dark Harbor. And then the week after that, Derek is hosting a special show. And I don't know what his is about, but it's going to be a Con Guy. Myself and Cheeseman are heading to Florida to
Halloween
Horror Nights Orlando. We will be comparing that to the one in Hollywood. So we got a lot going on. Gene, thank you so much for being a part of the show tonight.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
It was such a great. I guess I'll see you on the panel at Full-Time Creative, Part-Time Schedule.
Yes, absolutely.
We'll be talking to you soon. We'll be talking to
I
everybody
need
soon.
to be at LA Comic Con one of these days.
Yeah, what are we going to do?
Yeah. Come on, Topher.
All right, guys. Please like us on wherever you are liking us, watching us, follow us. What's that?
Wide shot.
Oh,
there we are.
Guys.
Hello, everybody.
Wide shot.
Sorry.
We're all
Anyways,
here.
thanks for being with us tonight. We'll see you guys soon.
From producers Maria Menounos, Kevin Undergaro, Phil Svitek, and the entire Popcorn Talk Network, we would like to thank you for tuning in. For questions or comments, be sure to visit popcorntalk.com. I'm Sir Richard Wentworth, and this has been a presentation of the Popcorn Talk Network.
The views expressed herein are those of the hosts only and do not necessarily reflect the views of the Popcorn Talk Network or its owners or principals.